Well, the day has finally come and it's going to its new home to be lived in. So here we are. I'm going to go around and talk a little bit about many of the things we've done here. First, I'll start with the color. So these were not the original colors. It was originally red where the blue is and silver where the white is. It was painted a few different colors through the years, but something that I'm pretty proud of is that stripe and the layout of the paint is original. So the stripes are exactly where they were before when the trailer was originally painted. I went with these colors. They're sampled from a 50s kitchen. I just liked it a little bit better than the red. I am a big fan of red, but I thought it looked a little too 70s. So we wanted to make it very clear that it is a cute 50s trailer. So we picked some nice bright blue. It's a little dark in this video here, but maybe we can get a better idea around the other side. All of this stuff has been painted. As you remember, that was multicolored as well. There were even pieces of skirting still hanging off the trailer all around the bottom. There's if anyone that's been following along here, it may still look a little rough in some spots, but if you compared it to what it was before, it is worlds of difference. So we're still waiting for a replacement light fixture for up top there. A lot of things are on back order with the way things are in the world right now. But you can see we did do some patchwork here. This warpy metal was like that when we got it. I actually did straighten it out and it's better than it was. It was sagging out really badly when we first got the trailer. So it's an improvement. Power now comes out of the bottom of the trailer rather than having a big ugly power cord coming out of the side. We put in some modern AC and heat and tried to make it as clean as possible in where the broken kitchen window used to be. And you can see it still has the original tag up there from when it lived in Esmeralda County with its original tag. I was able to pull that up with the assessor. They had, or with the recorder's office, they did not have very much information on it though. You'll see some bolts in the side here. This is from when we shored the trailer together. So when we first got it, we were really worried about it actually collapsing because it had a serious sag to it. You'll see as we go along the side, aside from the metal warping, that is one straight trailer. When we first got it, it was bowing out probably a good 2 to 3 inches all the way out here. We were genuinely worried about this trailer falling down, especially with all the rotting wood and water damage inside. So one of the first things we did is we shored it up inside with some fresh beams. We jacked up the roof, jacked up the sides of the trailer and got it very straight, and then sucked in the sides a little bit too with that bolt work there. And that bought us some time until we were able to put some more, refresh some of the stud work and other structural things inside. So you can see Beth even got up top there and she painted the stacks on the top, and all of that is good silver oil paint, so that won't go anywhere. Even the wheels are painted up, brand new tires there, ready to roll. You can see I'm missing a couple lug nuts. They're actually on the way right now as I'm recording. Some patchwork, but a lot of things are cleaned up. This front used to bow out really bad too, and that straightened up about as much as we could get it. Again, look how straight the side of that trailer is. This was bowing out considerably when we got it. This is a huge structural improvement. Even the windows are painted silver. They've been polished. We've scrubbed the metal on there to make them shine. In spots where we couldn't scrub it, where there was rust or paint over it, we painted it silver to match. We do have more lights on the way too with fresh plastic, and I do want them to be able to light up kind of like a night light at night too. So we're getting there, but again, things are back ordered, so just waiting a lot on this stuff. We got the locks rekeyed. This one was a little rusty, so he's repainted. So now we can lock the handles instead of these ugly things. We're gonna leave those on here for now. Eventually take those off and patch up those holes. This handle here was not originally on the trailer, but it was taken off the other 50s trailer that I purchased, the other Liberty, and I really liked the handle, and that trailer is not going to be repaired for a long time, so I went ahead and put it on this one. You can still see a little bit of the tan paint from that other trailer on there. You can see it's kind of cool. It has a light there. It lights up. Let me open this door, we'll turn it on. Let's see. There we go. It's kind of cool at nighttime. It shines down there. I added this light here on the outside. There was no light on the exterior. I thought it kind of looked Art Deco-y, and it was, you know, pretty secure, safe light to have on the exterior of a trailer, and it was cheap. Moving on to the inside. I mean, we painted this silver on the inside. We restained all this wood, treated everything. Let me pull this shut so we can get better light inside. And you can see a lot has happened in here. All the original wood has been cleaned and polished. All the walls taken out. New studs put in a lot of places. New ceiling put in where there was significant water damage. Even trim on the top. All the electrical is new. All the window frames have been cleaned and repainted. All the trim, all the walls, everything in here is new. We managed to match the color really well. That was about the closest we could get, but I'm pretty happy with it because the color of the old wood does vary. It fluctuates throughout the trailer depending on the kind of wood and how it was exposed to the sun. You can see here's the structural work that we did. And you can see there's still some little odds and ends I need to clean up. We're gonna put curtains in here and stuff. But this is the structural beam that I put in. Now I built a really nice casing around it because it was just an ugly 2x4 that we cranked up there and jacked up and slammed in there kind of in a hurry. And I didn't want to take it out because it was working so well. So it's all framed in there really nicely, and it just looks like it belongs. It's really nice. Going around to the other features of the living room, you'll notice this juts out here. And what this is a added support wall. So with this gigantic window in here, even when we tightened everything up, the wall would fluctuate so much I could push on it and the whole window would go in and out. And that really concerned me for future structural integrity and traveling down the road and things. You can see there's the stairs in the back that we'll put on the front once we get there. So we've actually built a double wall on top of the old wall here. And it is solid as a rock. Nothing's going anywhere now. It's kind of cute. Looks like a nice little windowsill. Maybe put some plants on it or something. New electrical all around with lots of plugs for modern life. So lots of places to plug in so we're not running extension cords and things such as that. We originally were going to put a shelf up here, and we might just we might do that eventually, or I might not. That's the biggest reason those plugs were put in there. Either way, it'll be handy in case you have a little table or something over here. You have a plug that's easy to reach to put your phone, plug your phone charger in. This up here, I didn't do much with the cabinet other than we just really cleaned it up and polished it, and boy does it look nice. I love these valances here with the light fixtures underneath. I just think those are super cool. I love that style. I love reflective light where you don't actually see the bulbs. I think that's pretty cool. This little box right here is a mandatory just because we have a junction box behind there to bring everything together from various points. So, by code it has to be accessible. Our double light switches with our vintage patterns. These are the original plates that were in here. I did source a couple off of eBay that were exactly the same. This is my little 50s cabinet. I forget where I got that. That needs to be cleaned up, but that'll look good in here too because it's the same color. Our stove is all cleaned up and hooked up. We had a company come out and run all new propane lines and make sure everything worked. So make some cookies, bake a cake in there. That'll be a lot of fun. We'll come back over here real quick. We do have the old 2-prong outlet there just kind of for visual sake. It's kind of a fun old memory of what used to be there. You remember there was a heater there. Originally, the heating system for the whole trailer was in here with ductwork in the floor, and then the exhaust pipe was out the top. We had a big, ugly exhaust pipe up there. We special ordered this cover right here and painted it the same color that the windows are to cover it up and make it look nice. And we do have a mini fridge in there along with a microwave, and there's a brand new wiring for all our appliances in here. We're not using old wiring on anything. And that was we had to actually route out part of the floor and run it over there because we couldn't get it through the cabinets or through the ceiling. I sure didn't want to cut into any of that. So we actually routed it through the floor there. Now, coming back over to this, what's funny is when the trailer was really ugly, the kitchen was the cutest thing in here. And now that the trailer's redone, the kitchen's kind of the roughest looking thing in here. So we did restain the, up until the drawers. We're in a bit of a rush here, so we'll have to wait to do the drawers. But the rest of it, I know it still looks rough. but it's 10 times better than it looked before. So this will buy us some time until maybe in a couple years I can rebuild this kitchen exactly. I'd really love to build it exactly the way it is, just with all new wood, even use the original hardware and everything. Brand new faucet there. We did try to use the original, but the original was pretty rough. We still need a CLR, the sink and everything. This is just unimportant stuff we can do at a later time. But that old faucet was broken on the bottom, so put in a brand new faucet with a high top, so it's easy to get pots and pans in that shallow sink right there, and a little sprayer. We want to thank Matt for doing that. That was a project and a half right there, getting that old faucet out. New AC and heat right there, which with enough BTUs that should be able to heat and cool this whole place. So we'll see how that does in the dead of winter and the dead of summer. Original light fixtures in here. I do want to clean these up. I just didn't quite get to it. I'd love to respray those and get those really nice and cleaned up. New 20 amp line for the kitchen there, as well as everything here is a GFCI, including that outlet. You just don't see the original GFCI outlet there. New water heater under here. It is a small size, but it is big enough to get a good 10-minute shower in here, as well as anything else that you might need hot water for. I think that's about it for out here. I did some shoring up of the ceiling there a little bit. It was sagging quite a bit. All these cabinets, I mean, I've got to give it to Beth. She has just done an astounding job. I know they have marks and wear and tear on them, but again, if you looked at them before, you can look at this one. You see that door right there? That's before it was done. That one hasn't been done yet. We left that open for comparison. So look at the difference as to how rich this color is. You know, I don't want to tear out original stuff if at all possible, even if it's a little ugly. The bathroom, you know, we haven't done much. I mean, I shouldn't say that. All our plumbing is new. And that's something I want to also emphasize out here is that all of this plumbing has been redone. And let me tell you, running all that through an old trailer is just a nightmare. Trying to cut it all out, adapt it to the old stuff. It's a mess. We did put some trim around the bottom here. I do need to finish caulking that because there was a pretty big gap between this wall and the tub there. So that's going to get all sealed up. We have a new shower curtain in here, and she's done a great job cleaning that up. I still need to do the floor in here. This was just lower priority because it functions as is. You can see we have a real work of art there with that pipe, but it all works. So that's the important part. I am going to pull this off, and I think we're going to do that in a fun orange color, maybe the medicine cabinet, like an orangey red, whichever color coincides with that green. And then in a few years, I think we're going to redo this whole bathroom with the same color, the same styling, but just fresh stuff that doesn't look so worn. So moving along the back here, again, all new flooring through here, new trim all along the floor here. This is our back room now. I have a little bit of trim work to do in here yet that we have to straighten out, but for the most part, it's done. We have trim along the ceiling, trim along those seams. I just couldn't quite get done before we had to roll it today, but as you can see, and we're short on product. Getting stuff out here in the desert, I'm having a hard time getting the trim, having a hard time getting the caulk we need. So we've been struggling with that a little bit. But again, all new electrical with the vintage plates on it. Anywhere where the plates might be seen a little bit more, I put vintage plates on it. The old style Edison bulbs on the original fixtures there. And again, our cabinet up top. This has not been polished either, so that needs to be polished, and this is just gonna pop and look amazing. And then this cabinet back here is kind of the hub for all the electrical. You know, I'm showing you all the things I haven't got done, but if I could go on a list of every little thing we had to do in here, it would just be something else. But we enclosed this cabinet. That's going to get cleaned up with stain and trim a little bit, just because it was kind of ugly. It was cut out so you get to the back of the bathtub. So that's cleaned up. You can kind of see some of it there that still needs to be finished. But our electrical hub is up there, and that's where all the breakers and everything, our main 50 amp line comes in with our fresh breaker box there. Still need to get these handles fixed. These are all the little things that just, you know, aren't that big of a deal right now, and I can always handle at a later time. I was more worried about structural stuff and things like that. We do have this sliding door, and this came out of the other 50s trailer as well. I'm also going to rebuild this screen door, but again, with due time, it works, even though it's a little ugly. This sliding door here came out of the other trailer. This trailer did not have any of the pocket doors or sliding doors that it originally had. I do have the hardware for that, so we're going to paint that up. and get that done. Now, let me go back over that. So this is a sliding door for the bedroom. The bathroom also had a sliding door that I'd love to replicate. And then we had a pocket door here to kind of separate off the kitchen. You can see that's where the slot was for it there with the opening up top. All things I would love to do in due time. You know, sometimes you stand back and you look at this and, you know, it looks great. It looks beautiful. But you stand here and you wonder, holy cow, how did I spend months and months doing all this? And there's still so many little things to be done. But we have to sit and remember all the things that are done and all the figuring out, all the logistics that it takes to get all these little things done. Not to mention having to do our full-time jobs and everything at the same time and make the money in order to be able to do all of this. So anyway, that's the tour of the trailer there. Look at that floor. I think I'm most proud of that floor. That was a lot of work, and it was not cheap. This is the Pergo Outlast, so it can get wet. It can get exposed to all kinds of mistreatment, and it should last a long time because let me tell you, I don't want to be replacing the floor in here anytime soon. I'll take one last look at the outside here. Oh, this was a project right here. Was getting these handles apart so we could get a key for them, and then having stripped threads and threads that where they weren't holding on. The wood behind this is gone. I can't even finish screwing those in because the wood is just gone. But getting the right bolts for these, trying to track down the right bolts to fit in these was another project, and then getting them keyed and everything there as well. You know, we've put time into getting insulation around everything, around the windows. I mean, I stood out here for hours and just scrubbed this metal. And even though it still looks ugly, it's a lot shinier than it was. So, all things to remember and keep in mind that we put an insane amount of detail into a trailer that probably should have been hauled off to the landfill. But here we are, and it's loved. And we have some really good experience. You know, we did a lot of things right, but we also did a lot of things wrong along the way and learned the hard way with a couple things. And now we can take that experience and use it on the next trailer. That trailer isn't here. It's going to get flatbedded here in a few weeks. That's trailer number 2. This is trailer 1. And over there, trailer 3. That's been our kind of our storage trailer for keeping supplies in and things while we worked on this. Well, thanks for joining me on this journey, and I hope you'll stick around till the next one, and hopefully many more.